Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Caffeine Encrypted and we are back with more Astro Colony. So some time has passed and I've done a few small changes. Let's have a look what changed. So the previous planet Kirk Prime, I completely looted everything out of it and just moved it away. Also, I forgot about my little spaceship, so let me bring that back. I thought it would fly with me, but apparently that's not the case. Can I make you land here? Come on. Perfect. So what I've done is I set up a second colony over here. I wanted to see if I could transfer things between the two. And that doesn't seem to be possible. Yes, you can move things through conveyor belts, but whatever is here in terms of power cannot connect here. The same principle as that little hub we created over here with the other planetoid. So what I'm going to do is I will keep this here for now. I'm not sure how I want to utilize it. We'll have a think about that. Then I clear this up. I set up a new platform up here, which I will set up a big astrocatcher setup and a few smelters because it's time to go big. I went underneath and I moved all of the solar panels and I started moving them over here because we're gonna need a lot of power, and I put nice glass underneath. So at the moment we have about 1600 power. When this is complete, will probably be about 2000-ish, if not more. And I just put this nice fence, I guess, around it so it looks more like a, maintenance area. Also here we have a massive tank of water because water will be very important moving forward. And the reason for that is because I've built all of these farms over here. So at the moment, all of these farms are producing wheat. And they are supplied with water. I put the water underground. Same with the cables. I'm trying to tidy all this stuff up. And they create grain. The grain passes through the belt, moves over here. We have a splitter that feeds it into a ranch that grows chickens. So here are chickens, the army of chickens. And here we have another barn which is giving us pigs. So pigs take, where is it? 4 spots each, while chicken take 1. And you can see that they sort of overlap between the two. Unfortunately, there is no way to actually delegate it. Like this farm only does this, while this does only that. I'm still experimenting around to see how far they need to be so they do not overlap, because I had the same situation over here. I had tomato plants here, and they would leave from one, plant tomatoes up here, and make it into a big mess. So I made 2 kitchens, and my little robots are going a bit crazy here, moving food. As you can see, we actually have a lot of food now. I left a bit of space because astronauts get really stuck if there is not enough space or if there are tight corridors. I moved the canteen and the tables from over there up here. So this is the area they eat, just trying to shorten their path as much as possible. And I started making like hibernation chambers, I guess, if you want to call them that. So every floor has a number of them. They go up through this ladder and they get into this platform by the staircase going down and up. I don't really need 2, I just need 1 of them, but I was experimenting around with it. We'll probably squeeze it and turn it into 1. I haven't put anything down here yet. I'm still thinking what I want to implement. Probably move some of the research or something astronaut related. Now here we are still mining this planetoid, Octavia, and we haven't started touching this one yet. Now I was trying to sort the power situation and establish my smelting array before I start stripping out this planet, because I want to start using giant drills. I want the quartz from this because a number of those locations will actually have quartz instead of rockstone or just sand. And quartz is very important for glass, which we need for tubes. And I realized that the giant drills are quite good and quite fast. They're not really expensive in terms of power, but they're a bit weird to set up. Ideally, once we finish emptying Octavia from resources, I'm going to disconnect it completely, get rid of this little hub, and connect the main colony with IP66.9 and start getting resources that way. One idea I had was to use this other colony over here as a sorting ground, so everything that comes in goes through a series of logic paths and distribute accordingly, but I'm still not sure about the ratios that a belt can handle, how much each one of those produce, but a few bottlenecks while experimenting with it. So that's where we left off. Now for the fun stuff, let's set up the Astro cutter arrays up here, because I want to set up a lot of them. So let's go and select our asteroid cutters. So my plan is to have 8 of them, so each one will be in its own modular way, and each module will have 8 of them. So I'm thinking of how I want to set up the belts as well so they do not clog up. Because if you have too many on one belt, even with the faster belts, you cannot empty them fast enough. So let's run a little experiment. Let's put 1. Again, we need space. So that will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to remove the floor over here, and the reason I do that it's so it's easy to actually find where to connect the power. We won't put that down just yet. Let's select the belts. So all of this will go down here. So that's one. Now let's set up a second one. Ideally, I want to make them in the same way, so it's a lot easier to get the power going. Also, we're missing power here, but I don't need to remove this floor because I know exactly what it is. And I will extend this all the way under the floor because it's not really sure what I want to fill this platform with. Okay, so that's done. Let's go up again, select power. Okay, and now let's put some floors down just to hide it and make it look nice and tidy. Now all of this will need to go and be processed. So I'm thinking it's the perfect time for a warehouse. And this will have multiple inputs and multiple outputs. If I place it here for now and I switch the input and the output, I can have 4 inputs and multiple outputs. I think I will need multiple inputs instead of a few, so that will give me 2 on each side, so 2, 4, 6, 8. I think 8 will be a good start. Okay, let's move you where you actually need to be. Yeah, I think this will go there. And that way will fit in here. Then another one will arrive from this side. So another module will fit into this. Cool. Now let's connect the power and run it on high speed for a little bit just to see if the belts can keep up. I'm just going to connect this on this side and go down here. Okay, so I had to do a few more changes. I moved everything in one and I put a secondary belt. So it seems like every 1 second the asteroid catcher can offload one on its side, which is making it faster to unload. A line of 7 or 8 of them in a row is not enough to fully compress a belt. So if I share another line of Astro catchers on this side, it should be enough to fully compress this belt. And it seems that 2 belts that do not merge, the keyword is they must not merge, they can fit into one side of the warehouse continuously without stopping. So I'm going to set up 1, 2, probably 3 more of these arrays and I'll be right back. So I set up 4 arrays of Astro catchers, each array having 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, splitting between 2 belts. And from a quick look, all of them can offload in time. So by the time one of the asteroids is attracted and broken down, everything goes in. I know this is probably not the most elegant solution, but for now, I think it's pretty decent. Let's do something fun. So while experimenting with this, my water reserves have been tanking. What I want to do is I want to use transport tubes and bring water to this. And I will actually remove this so I can show you something. Now, the way I want to do that, how do I want to pass the tube? I can pass the tube here and I think it can go through the fence. So first, I will need a filter. Let's go on our stuff, logic blocks. We're gonna go with the trusty old filter. We're gonna say allow only ice out. And then it needs a belt. So the belt will come out and it will get, let's say, around here for now. So this will start pulling ice out of this into the belt. Conveyor belts by default have a green input and a red output. Without doing anything to them, the output is always the tube and the input is the belt. But for what we want to do now, we want it to be slightly different. And how are we going to do that? I'm going to place that over here. I'm going to remove the floor just so I can see underneath. And make sure there is nothing obstructing it. Good. I'll put a tube over here which will connect. And then I will connect the belt over here. So these will start feeding ice into this. You will see that this has its own storage, which is very convenient in case something goes wrong. So if I still had that conveyor belt over there, I could go and manually put ice in the block. So let me do that here. Let's throw that here. I should update that to a good tube, since a green belt, its equivalent is a red tube, and I want that tube to get all the way out here, and I want to set it up in the beginning. So again, the input and the output. So the problem is, I want to bring an input from a tube, so I will need to reverse the input and the output. So I'll just place that down here, select it, and click here where it says swap conveyor gates. So this will make the input a tube and the output a belt. But we just need to make sure we flip it around. So you go here and switch. So always get the big side with this exhaust. That's where your pipe will go. And give me the red tubes. I should have a bunch of those. There you go. So we want them to go in there in a sort of nice way. They cannot go through this pillar, but that's okay. We don't want it to. So let's say you go over here. Could even go up. But let's do it this way. I'm gonna place you over here. And then I will sneak on this side. Gonna be a bit tricky to navigate. Okay, so you go over here, and there goes the ice. It will float all the way out here, get into this, and start feeding these machines. Now, since we're running low on ice, let me grab this and just manually throw it in here, just so we can keep things going. The splitters here are counting the logic, so keep 1, send 18 through, and every time it goes down by 1 until we get to the last one. So this is a series of 19 icebreakers. Okay, so we took care of the ice raw material, but now we need smelters, and this is where the fun begins. So we got a pretty good amount of power, and we can feed a lot of resources out of this. But smelters can craft many items at the exact same time, which is what makes it tricky to set up an array for them. So let's just put that stuff in there. Now, carbon is important, but I'm going to do something else with carbon. I am going to funnel it through a tube and then split it between the stuff I need. So I will go back and set up a filter for the stuff I actually want to mine. And I do want to keep this line empty over here because I want to use this to load the warehouse with stuff from planets. So on this output, I'm gonna go and say I want to let iron, copper, gold, aluminum, uranium, titanium. No, only 5. That kind of changes things. Well, no, it doesn't. I'll just remove uranium from here, and I'll do something else about uranium. So there you go. Titanium. Cool. Everything besides uranium will be exported from this belt. And then I can just take the belt for the coal and export uranium from there as well, and then move it where I want. Or I can even use this side. There are a few things. So, since I have that idea, let me just set it up so I am not looking for it at the last minute. I want to bring this belt. Do I want to bring them with a belt, or do I want to bring them with a tube? I think I want to bring them with a tube, because I'm going to actually rebuild this little dock over here. So it will have to be a tube that will receive things. Okay, you cannot receive them. Actually, it doesn't matter if it's outside of the ship for the tube, because it's a tube. So let's say you will receive a tube on this side. Your speed is not super important here. It will move when it moves. And then you will continue around this side. Just need to be careful, I don't have enough glass to be super ambitious with this. And then that will connect with whatever dock I make over there. Okay, that seems like a plan. And now let's go make the conveyor belt. We will extend all the way here. And you go in here. Beautiful. I will put a second warehouse right here. And I want to change the belts around so it only has one input, but multiple outputs. So this output will need a filter again. Actually, does it need a filter? Yes, because I don't want it to remove... I don't want it to push the ice out of here. So give me a filter on this side. Now uranium. And you feed into this. Obviously the rate that they will move from one to the other is slow, but we can always do this. So I can just squeeze those in here. And I can say, okay, this will be one output from this into a smelter. So let's say I bring this over here, and then I want my input to go through here, to go back into this, and another output, which doesn't matter what type, it's gonna bring out from this, it will go here. Okay. So let's say you can go right here, and you feed in. There is no need to put a pusher because this will never stop feeding this. It absorbs enough in time. The output from this will go here, right. And that should send it back, so whatever is melted should go back. Enable all of that stuff. Good. Now for the second smelter. And let's try to merge you with you. 2 should be enough to keep this fed, because they take a variety of time, so it really depends what will come through. And since this is my second input, you go down here, you turn, and you go directly into this. And it seems to prioritize the first resource. So if I move you here, yes. Okay, so it goes from the left to the right. Okay. I can live with that. Now you need power and you need power. Let's fix you. Let's see how the... Oop, oxygen. Run, 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 run. That's why you need to be careful when you play on high speed. Oxygen just runs away from you. Okay, so this is still going. Good. We're emptying the ice on time, so I'm happy about that. Okay, yeah, it seems like they can handle it. There will be a little bit of build-up, but nothing too extreme. I don't need the second output. So if I really wanted to push crafting even more, I could make another set of those. Do we need that? Would be tricky to set up. Let's do one more. Just so we can smell things faster. Perfect. Let's increase the speed a bit and see it going crazy. I see a constant flow. I'm very happy about it. Good. So we did fix our water stuff. That's good. This is not building up because we don't have enough ice yet. Are we not capturing enough? Well, I guess it's a bit hit and miss as well with how many asteroids of what type you're going to get. So that kind of makes sense. But I'll just need to keep an eye on it because you never know what happens. Because from what I see, they are all of them are sort of working, so they are producing. And we're using a lot for the food over here, and we have an astronomical amount of food at the moment. Would be nice if you could set up limits. Well, we probably can with all of the endgame sensors and stuff. But I guess we will have to do for now. Okay, so that's done, that's done. Things are loaded into this. This keeps staying full, so I'm not worried about that. Whatever else I feed into this will go here. I need to figure out what I want to do with the coal for the next episode. Okay, let's do one more thing for this one. Let's see, are they done? I don't think they are done with Octavia. And no, still a fair bit of carbon and copper. Okay. Let's find some quartz. I think this is, yep, there it is. So this is quartz. Here we can get a bunch of it. Now, let's take speed down to 1. And let's try to set up a giant drill. So there's no way to overlap the dig area, is there? Let's see. Because I think this will leave a thing in the middle that cannot be dug. So you go here. You go here. I'm not going to automate their output. All I want them to do is just to start digging down on the ground. And those ones shouldn't really be able to do anything. How much power? 32. Okay. That's 14. Let's put that here. That should be 28. No, they're actually digging. Okay, that's good. Yep, so they are doing their thing. Needs a bit more power. Let's give you a little bit more. A few more solar panels. And that should be enough to keep them going. Good. Okay, so while they are doing their thing, we will have to plan how we're going to take care of all the rest of this and make more tubes. So now, to bring those resources in, let's completely remove this. Plus, this is completely stuck on the mountain. So let's get all of this back. So let's undock this. Remove you. Remove all of this. Undock this. So I want to move those away. And I want to redo this thing completely. So since I'm not bringing astronauts from this side, I can take this out. I will remove that. I don't think I need them to reconnect back to that area, but we'll see. Take the power out. Plus, we will need better thrusters than that. So the goal is to flatten these two things, and they are stuck together, so I will need to move them. But I only want to connect one of them at a time. So I don't really need to have this as an elevated floor. It can just be a regular one. Let's get an advanced dock right here. These will become the base. So set you here. And you go right here. And that should move to connect. Okay, so that's done. That's step 1. So all of you will be outputs because I'm not really bringing anything back into this planetoid. Do I need a warehouse here? Or should I feed everything without a warehouse? I will need multiple inputs probably, so I will need a warehouse if I don't want to saturate all the belts immediately. And then this will need to go back into that. Trying to think of a sort of efficient way, because normally mindset is to go the Factorio way of, preparations, keep things flowing and stuff like that. But this game doesn't work exactly like that. So let's say I will move the first belt over here. And you will go in this. And then I have a tube that will go here, out. So you're going there. Cool. So that is connected. So everything that is fed on this belt over here will go in this. Why does it look like they... That looks like it's going out, not in. Is it because of the high speed? Yes. Because of the speed, they look like they go the other way around. That's a funny optical illusion. Okay. Well, there's that. You learn something new every day. And then we will need some sort of receiver over here to collect everything. Let's take that. Okay. Are these done? Okay, so they cannot dig that middle area. I wonder if I can come up with a solution to that instead of me digging it every time. But as you see, they're quite fast. And they are the best way to actually dig a planet out. Now, there is another thing I want to test. But we won't test this on today's episode. I'll just quickly show you what it is. So let's take that. Okay. So if you look at the map, and yes, the reason I want to separate them is I don't like that they look like a big squeezed pancake. Now, if you look at this, it says forget previously modified object, minimum distance 5 light years. I think if you move far away, the planet actually respawns, like all the resources respawn on it and it returns to its previous state. I'm not sure if that's the case, but hey, we're gonna test it out. But this will be where we're gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks everyone for watching, don't forget to drop a comment, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. And I will catch you all on the next one.